And what is it about the three of you? What was it for your characters that really just made you excited about taking this on?
For me, it was, well, first off, it was Taylor and his writing and his work. Everything he does is a completely new world that we explore, and every time, thankfully and luckily, I get to play a part in something he writes and creates. It's a whole other world I really haven't known anything about. My father worked in the oil business in Texas in the 80s, more on the analytical side, the computer science side. So I never got to go to the patch. I never got to go out to the rigs and kind of experience what the frontliners do. So getting to learn that world in an abbreviated sense, even if in an abbreviated sense, is what really drew me, besides, of course, the great work of Taylor.
Well, the stories, you've seen a little bit of, so you know it's amazingly exciting. For me, working with Taylor, I'm my first day, Taylor Sheridan is directing. I'm sitting in a car with Billy Bob Thornton, and I'm going, that's a, hillbilly boy's dream, come to Hollywood and make a Western,
Yeah.
Doesn't get much better.
It don't get no better than that, and so that was, you don't say no to that, and people dream about that, and so I'm feeling myself very fortunate to be part of this small part of this grand story,
To piggyback, again, Taylor, of course, was the first, that's a no-brainer. But the realness of the scripts and the characters is really what drew me in, and having an understanding of the South, and not a full understanding of the oil business or that industry at all, but just the way these people operated and their thoughts and their mannerisms. It's just so real, everyday life there. So I knew it was going to be amazing. Like you can't capture that very many times.
What I love about you two, also, you're very strong women. Like your characters really stand out for different reasons. What was it for the both of you that stood out for this role?
I think, like you said, these are powerful, well-rounded characters with so much depth to them that makes it so compelling as an actor. And being able to have those conversations with Taylor, and he is so passionate about all of the work that he does and wanting to execute it the right way. And so having that in the forefront is just beautiful. And I mean, I was instantly drawn to Ariana for many reasons.
Yeah, with Rebecca, she's being thrown comments all the time, doubting her and minimizing her, and you really have to have a thick skin, and that it was a compelling part for me to have this woman who's kind of being doubted all the time, but she comes out on top. She's very strong.
What would you say, like, for people who are about to discover the show, what is at the heart of it?
It's about the people who are in this world. There's a lot of loss. There's a lot of reward. It's an extremely lucrative business that is incredibly dangerous. So, and it's about the people that are affected by this and living it.
Yeah, directly impacted by it. Yeah, exactly what she said.
Well, and I understand Taylor came to you. How did that first conversation go?
We had touched base a couple of times about previous projects, and so I had wanted to work with him for years. Ever since he wrote Hell or High Water, I was like, man, if I ever get a chance to work with Taylor, that would be incredible. And so thankfully, with Boomtown, the podcast, it finally worked out. The stars aligned, and 5 years later, here we are. And I mean, I'm so grateful that he wanted to work on this and wanted to work on it together, because he was absolutely the right storyteller to bring this world to the screen. So yeah, it couldn't have been anyone but Taylor.
What is at the heart of this story for you? What kind of story did you want to tell with this?
I wanted to tell a story about West Texas that has never really been told before. And it is a dynamic story in the sense that we have the mansions in Fort Worth, but then we're also with the Roughnecks, the blue collar workers in West Texas. And it's an incredibly important place that hasn't really had stories told about it. And bringing that to the screen is the most rewarding thing for me about this whole thing.
If you could just quickly describe what people are going to see this season.
Well, it's pretty dynamic. I'll say that we have everything from the family drama to the dangerous world of oil and the nefarious parties that you sometimes come into contact with out there in the desert of West Texas. But I think one thing that will surprise people is just how funny it is and how full of heart it is. And that's, that humor and that love of family that's in this show really kind of ties everything together.